So I'm here with Ross from Maitland Motors, and first of all, Ross, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Could you give us, start off by giving us a brief overview of the business?
So Maitland Motors is in Burnt Island and Fife. We've been operating since 2016. We are a general repairs and maintenance garage. We also specialise in certain things like diagnostic work and DPF doctor network, fixing DPFs and specialise in repairing and cleaning them. And we do all aspects of vehicle repair and maintenance, MOTs, we do servicing, brakes, and over the wider scale for diagnostic work and stuff like that. So.
And you mentioned there the DPF doctor network. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and why it's a more specialist area?
So with the DPF Doctor Network, it's a nationwide thing, actually worldwide now, that we are part of. And we, like I say, we specialise in the diagnosing of DPF faults and cleaning of DPFs on the car, rather than taking them off the car and sending them away to specialists. A lot of the DPF work is very niche to specific manufacturers. Every manufacturer has his own little thing that stops regeneration of DPFs. So being part of the network gives us extensive training on that, helps us diagnose the fault and pinpoint exactly what's going on and get the cars back on the road.
Okay, and for those for those cars that require the work, what are the benefits of the solution that you provide?
So basically, I think a lot of garages just kind of go in and do stuff called forced regens, and you've heard horror stories of people putting jet washes down DPFs and them in to clean them, and it's not good. It's not good because inside the DPF's quite precious metals and stuff. So putting the wrong chemicals in or putting a jet wash down it, I've heard people talking about putting Mr. Muscle oven cleaner into it, so not great. Destroys all the internals of the DPF. Whereas we go in, we diagnose the initial fault of what's caused the DPF to block, and advise the customers on what will stop that happening again in the future. If it's a drivability issue, town driving or something, we get additives and stuff that we can tell them about and sell them on for that to help stop that fault coming back on again.
Okay, and training is also quite a big part of Maitland Motors as a whole, and trying to bring people through and that as well. And you look to the future with that in terms of the industry as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about the training? So
I think with the industry's increasing rapidly, and the development of cars and development of products and stuff in the car, training's a must. It has to be done to pinpoint faults accurately, quickly, and first time fixes. That's a massive thing. We hear a lot of stories of cars going into garages and just, we call it parts cannon, just fitting bits on cars until they fix it, and sometimes they don't. So the training side of things really helps us kind of pinpoint faults. First time fixes is massively important to save the customer money, especially when the parts are so expensive now. So the training's a must, and it's really improved our business and got us more work from other garages and stuff like that. They bring it to us because we specialise in that, because we've done the extensive training on stuff.
And I just wanted to mention electric vehicles briefly, because I know that's still something that's growing and it's not the core part of your business as yet, but you've started training up to a certain level on that, haven't you? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, EV's coming, although the ban has been put back for the sale of diesel and petrols, it's coming. There's no getting away from it. So we're preparing ourselves for the future. We're not seeing a huge amount of full EVs in our demographic at the moment, but certainly hybrids and stuff like that is starting to come through. So we have to be trained up, because these things are massive voltages in them. So we have to make sure that our staff are safe, our customers are safe, and that we are capable of fixing these faults. So it's definitely something that is coming in the future, and we are looking to it. But just in our demographic, it's just not, the infrastructure's not there yet, unfortunately, for EVs and that big boom that we were expecting to see. But it is coming. So.
And just finally, in terms of, I suppose, the core advice that a specialist like you would give just to any driver is to have a yearly service, at least once a year. How important is that, and why do you think people sort of don't do that, or perhaps do it themselves? Is that a case sometimes?
Yeah, massively. We see a lot of manufacturers move to 2-year or 20,000 mile intervals. People don't do that amount of miles a lot. But what we do advise customers is at least an oil change every year. We always say, like, the oil's like your blood. So it has to be right. So we always advise an oil change every year at least. Try to find your manufacturer's specifications for service as much as possible. I think obviously the cost of living crisis is a massive thing because the industry parts are getting dearer, cost of labour is getting dearer. So I think a lot of people still want to kind of cut the cost by potentially missing a service, but you tend to find that the consequence of that tends to be a lot more costly repairs at the back of it. Plus, as well, a lot of people have been able to tinker with cars for years. You know, that's how I started. That's how I got into the trade. Just started to fix my own car. Whereas now, everything's so specific and everything's moved on so much. Oil's not oil anymore. You know, there's so many different variations, and everything has to be right with that, or you will get knock-on consequences with other part failures, carbon build-up and stuff like that. And people don't, I think, a general public don't really appreciate that yet, maybe so much. And you know, they go into Motor Factors, buy 530 oil, and it doesn't suit that engine.
Yeah.
But that's an education thing for us, that we can educate our customers to say stuff like that you can't just buy stuff off the shelf anymore. Everything's so specific now, and everything's all covered with panels and everything like that as well. It's so much harder to get access to things. But again, the cost of living crisis has caused people to maybe start to do things themselves. But everything's so complicated now with cars that we don't advise it. You know, bring it to us or a specialist garage, and we'll fix it properly.
Well, thanks very much for taking time to speak to us, and congratulations again on your
Thank you very
award.
much.
Cheers, Ross.
Perfect.
Thank you. Good man.
Thank you. Cheers.